Good afternoon, Chaos. This is Akelatos, your friendly Legion's leader here, doing a review that is very, very long overdue. BennaMae has asked me many months ago to get to one, and unfortunately, real life kind of got in the way. I had to cut back on the reviews, but now I have the chance to really do Benna's review justice. She's a long-standing member of Chaos, been in a few Chaos guilds, and always done the absolute best she could with what she had, and there is nothing more that we can ask. So Benna, thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for always being there and being honest and open. So now I really want to go through this review and give you the help that you've asked, or give you the advice maybe that you've asked for. Now I know primarily you've asked about mods and some mod management, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that and hopefully be able to edit in for the first time in any of my videos kind of tutorial working with swgoh.gg to help you find mods that you can use and put them where you would like them to go. But before we head that way, I'm going to go over kind of your roster, kind of look at some of this stuff and come up with maybe one or two teams I'd recommend you continue to farm and gear up. One, maybe a slight improvement for your arena team, one light side territory battle team, and one dark side territory battle team, all three of which should be good for the Sith raid. So really I'm going to give you 3 teams that I recommend working on that can help you in just about every aspect of this game right now. So without any further ado, let's just dive right in and see. You've got just over 1 million galactic power in characters, so not the biggest roster I've looked at, but definitely one that has really hit some really good tunes and good characters that we could definitely put together to make a few solid groups. So first of all, I wanted to look at your arena team. Now, I noticed in your arena, you are running a Commander Luke Skywalker lead, a Darth Vader, a Kylo Ren, a Boba Fett, and a Raid Han Solo. All of which are very, very strong characters in and of themselves. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of synergy going on in this group right now. So, if you want to continue using the Commander Luke Skywalker lead, which is very strong, could definitely get under the top 100 with a good group around him, but to really benefit from that, Rebels are definitely the best bet. And you've got some really good, really strong Rebels here. Now, your top 4 Rebels are Commander Luke Skywalker, Raid Han, R2-D2, and Princess Leia. And then your strongest tank is Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Old Ben. Now, those 5 could make a very, very strong arena team. Under Commander Luke Skywalker, Han Solo and Princess Leia can do a ton of damage. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a fantastic tank. You know, he does really good at soaking up damage and helping everybody around him. And R2-D2 is arguably the best support character in the game. So with all 5 of those at 7-star and a minimum gear 10, that'd be a great place to start your arena team. Now, Luke Skywalker, Admiral Akbar, and Lando Calrissian are all good. They all have their place. However, arena is probably not that place. So, just putting those 5 there and kind of checking them out, we can kind of see how they would work together. Now, Commander Luke Skywalker, as a leader, you have some tenacity and crit damage mods. Not a bad idea. Though tenacity generally is not a set you see very much on Commander Luke Skywalker. Instead, maybe a crit chance would be slightly better. With a speed arrow, which you've got, a crit damage triangle instead of protection. Maybe a potency or offense cross here. The square only option is offense, diamond only option is defense, and possibly a protection circle here. And I'll show you in a little bit how to find those mods. Raid Han Solo, again, the best bet is to just throw crit chance, crit damage mods on him. Pretty much the same setup that you had on Commander Luke Skywalker. Because you want him to hit as hard as possible, and you want him to hit often. With the group that I'd recommend, I would say maybe put your next Zeta on Number Crunch, because that will give a huge benefit to the rest of your team, giving everybody else max protection, max offense, max health, and max potency. And seeing as how you have two very squishy DPS in there, and when you get the Zeta on Number Crunch, I'd recommend a lot of health and protection for R2-D2. Obviously, you want to get him as fast as possible, because you want to get his smoke screen out right away. However, if you add a lot of health and potency, a lot of health and protection on R2, with the Number Crunch Zeta, he will make your Han Solo and Princess Leia that much beefier and able to withstand damage. So I think that's a really, really good investment there. Now, Princess Leia, again, you're going to want probably the same mod setup that you would have for Commander Luke and Han Solo. A crit damage set and a crit chance set. With, on the right side, from top to bottom, you want speed, crit damage, and probably offense. Because she is super strong. She hits incredibly hard. Like, my Princess Leia is gear 11. Pretty much where yours is at. And she hits non-tanks for 15 to 16,000 with one hit. So when she double or even triple taps, you're looking at 32 to 48,000 damage. So if you put her in your team, definitely get a crit chance and crit damage set. Now for old Ben, he can be a little more tricky to mod. Obviously you want health and protection, maybe even a little bit of tenacity and defense in there. But a lot of people really think that potency is a good idea for him, which is not a bad choice, because his mind tricks inflicts a lot of debuffs on enemies and removes turn meter, all of which needs potency to land. However, you see Jedi and Rebel allies gain turn meter for each effect resisted. So it's hit or miss. You either land that ability block and offense down, which is great, and remove turn meter, or you feed turn meter to your team. So it's really up to you if you want potency. Myself, I would probably not put potency and instead stick with the health, defense, tenacity route. Devoted Protector is nice. I don't know if you'd want to put a Zeta on there. It looks like your Zeta income is not very high, so it's taking you a while to get a Zeta upgrade. So I don't know if I'd put one in there, given that it's taken a while for you to get one. So his may not be the best choice. And if you strike me down, another relevant Zeta, but again, I don't know if it's the best option for you, given your rate of acquisition for Zeta mats. So that's the first group I would recommend you work on. And now we're going to go over to swgoh.gg to show you how you could search for those mods and find the best mods for each person. Now, BennaMae, this is your profile on swgoh.gg. So I'd like to show you kind of how you can search through your mods to find what you want. Now, you'll notice that underneath your information here, you see profile, character, squads, ships, mods, and gear needed. If you tap or click on the mods section, it brings you up to a list of all the mods that you have equipped. You see there's a lot of health, there's a lot of defense, some crit damage, crit chance, some potency, all kinds of mods. Now, I've recommended a lot of crit chance and crit damage mods for you. So how would you filter through to find the best crit chance and crit damage mods? Well, to do that, you would click on filters up here, and here's all the different options. Now, let's say you want to find just the transmitters or the square mods, and you want to look for crit damage. Okay, now you can just tap those until they're grayed and tap on apply filters. Okay, this should bring up all of your crit damage squares. Now, this is obviously a ton. You have a lot of mods here. So you might wonder, well, Hikelitos, how do I filter even more? Now, let's say you want to find crit damage mods that have speed as a secondary stat. Okay, you can just type on speed as a secondary stat and apply the filters to see how many of your crit damage squares have speed as a secondary. And you see there's one on Death Trooper and one on Chopper. Now, I would recommend taking these two mods off these guys, putting one of them on Commander Luke Skywalker, and putting the other one on Princess Leia. You can do whatever you would like. And then after you find the mods there that you want, you can change the filters again. Now, the arrows, they have a lot of options for primary stats. They could go speed, they could go crit avoidance, they could go health, they could go protection, all kinds of stuff. But let's say you want to filter out some of these less useful ones, and let's say you want to find only crit damage arrows with speed as the primary stat. So click on the primary stat speed, and it brings up 3. So these 3 may be good options to put on Raid Han, or on Princess Leia, or on Commander Luke Skywalker. So these are all the ways you can do that. Now, let's say you like these speed secondaries, or speed primaries, but you want to find a truly offensive, devastating one to put on maybe your Raid Han. So you want to find a crit damage arrow with speed as a primary, offense, and we'll say crit chance as 2 of its secondaries. And you can do that. And it will filter through to see if you have any. And you actually have one mod that has offense and crit chance already on your Commander Luke Skywalker. Great job here, Benna. But you can do this to find any kind of mods you want. So let's say you wanted to find, instead of a speed arrow, you wanted an offense cross. So you pull up an offense cross and look at the crit damage ones to see how many crit damage mods you have with offense as a primary. You have none. Not a problem. You can maybe see if you have crit chance or crit damage mods that have offense as the primary. Well, you still have none of those. So maybe we can look for, instead of offense, we want to find some that have potency. I mean, Raid Han stuns, so potency is not bad, and Commander Luke Skywalker does a bunch of stuff. So potency might not be a bad option. So you can see you have 8 different of these mods that have potency as a primary. Now, you might see that you only have 2 of these mods that are 5 dot, so you would kind of work on those. But whatever recommendations or whatever you want to find, you can use this filter here to find those absolute best mods that you want to put in. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this kind of will point you in the direction to find the best mods that you have and put them on the characters that you want. And maybe even in the future help to keep your mods organized. It's totally up to you. But I personally find this tool extremely helpful when I want to mod my characters. Especially if I haven't modded for a while and I just yank all the mods off. and I want to figure out what to put where. So hopefully this helps you, Benna. It'd be nice to see you using this and get the most out of your characters and really use everything that you've got to its absolute fullest advantage. Now, I'm sure you could be doing a little bit better than what you've got. I'm not sure how much better, but every little bit helps, especially if it brings you up into another bracket in arena. Could give you who knows how much more damage in territory battles or raids. You know, it's just there for you to check it out and see what works. Now that you've kind of seen those mods, a couple of groups that you could also kind of work on and farm up to fill out your light side territory battle and dark side territory battle, and also help with the Sith raid. For light side, you know, it's kind of like beating a dead horse, but Phoenix Squadron is a very, very strong option in territory battles, and they're killer in phase 2 of the Sith raid. Obviously, you'd want to get Sabine up to 7-star, and then gear the rest. I know they're a tough gear, and I know they take a lot of hard-to-get stuff, but they are definitely worth it. And if you run out of places to put a Zeta, or you're not quite sure where to go, Canon Jarrus is a good choice on his, maybe not his unique, one of his Zetas, one of his abilities here does have a Zeta, which is a very, very strong option, as well as Sabine. Her Demolish has a Zeta, and it is also a very, very strong option. So there's a couple of Zeta options there. They're not necessary for the team. Okay, let me say that again. They are strong, but not necessary for the team. So if you're running low on Zeta mats, you want to throw it on something else, that's fine. This team works almost as well without the Zetas. So if you don't have a lot, you don't want to throw them on there, that's fine. No need for it. Now, for the dark side territory battle team that I'd recommend, this one does really need one Zeta to be strong, and that is the Imperial Troopers. For these ones, General Veers, his Zeta on Aggressive Tactician is pretty much a necessity for running an Imperial Trooper team. Now, when your Imperial Troopers get good enough, you can go 4-4 in any battle in territory battles, and with the right setup, you could hit 4-5 million damage with just this one group in the Heroic Tank Raid or in the Sith Raid. So definitely want to work on these guys. General Veers and Colonel Stark are kind of the backbone of this group, so I would definitely recommend farming up those guys. And Stormtrooper, Magma Trooper, and Snow Trooper are not bad options. However, if you can farm Death Trooper, it might be better to put gear on him instead of Magma Trooper. Okay, because Death Trooper is so good with his Death Mark, you really want him to be useful. So if you can farm Death Trooper, I would say go for it. Get his shards and really hit that Cantina hard for them. If you can't farm his shards, then definitely stick with Magma Trooper. Magma Trooper is a good option. He does well. He just doesn't have the Terminate. Okay, Stormtrooper is a solid tank. Very good. You can definitely gear him up. And Snow Trooper is a fantastic DPSer. So you really can't go wrong by gearing him. So to kind of recap, 3 different groups you can work on for your arena. I'd recommend a Commander Luke Skywalker, or keeping Commander Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, and then slowly switching out Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and Kylo Ren for R2-D2, Princess Leia, and Old Ben. Just so that they can really all benefit from the synergy that Commander Luke offers, because he does so much for a Rebel team. I would caution you, though, if you do go that Rebel team, do not fight Emperor Palpatine-led groups. They will eat you alive. Unless you pump up a lot of health in R2-D2 and get his number crunch going, I wouldn't even try it. The next group out of the Rebels that could work for a lot of things is Phoenix Squad. Hera Syndulla, Ezra Bridger, Kanan Jarrus, Zeb, and Sabine. Strong, good options, work well in territory battle and Sith raid. And then for the dark side, your Imperial Troopers. Continue to farm General Veers and Colonel Stark, as well as adding gear onto Stormtrooper, Magma Trooper, and Snow Trooper. You can take these however you wish. You can take my recommendations or not. My feelings are not hurt, I promise. But looking over your roster, I think that you will get the most benefit from those investments in the short run and probably the long run. So hopefully this can help you, Benna. I really look forward to seeing you grow even more and seeing what kind of numbers you can put up and how well you can do in your arena, because getting those crystals from the arena really helps farming everything else. So your group could get you into the top 50, maybe the top 100. We'll see how it goes. Please be sure to keep me posted. Let me know how those recommendations work for you, and really look forward to seeing what you can do. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sekelatos saying good afternoon, good evening, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, adios, good luck.